You don't stop trusting people all at once. You just stop reaching out after enough silence convinces you that no one's coming. And that's not strength, it's withdrawal, dressed up as independence. See, this shard was a record pulled straight out of a night city. And it wasn't written to warn anyone. It was written because someone needed the truth saved somewhere. See, Pacifica was never meant to look like this. It was sold as the future. Resorts, entertainment, money flowing from outside the city. See, corporations poured funds into the district. They hired labor from the Haitian diaspora and promised that once the work was done, the payoff would come next. So buildings went up, the labor was spent, and the money, it vanished. The unification war scared investors away, so projects stalled and contracts, they dissolved. What was supposed to become Night City's crown jewel turned into a half-built carcass. Abandoned, it was written off, and it was erased from the priority list. And the people who stayed behind, they learned something fast. No one was coming back to finish it. No authority was stepping in to clean it up, and no one outside of Pacifica was going to absorb the cost. So then the rules changed. The Voodoo Boys, they didn't rise because they wanted power. They formed because control was the only remaining option. See, they stopped waiting for help. They stopped appealing outward. And they stopped believing that anyone beyond their borders would act in their interests. So they secured what they could. They protected their own. And they drew a hard line around what remained. And then they enforced it. And from the outside, this looks like hostility, insularity, aggression. But from the inside, it feels like survival. And this is where the story stops being about them. Because you've done this too, just on a smaller scale. You've hit the point where relying on outside systems stops working, where institutions failed quietly, where promises expired without apology. Maybe it wasn't a city, maybe it was a job that stalled your future, or a family structure that didn't protect you, rules that kept demanding obedience without offering return. And at first you stayed patient, you trusted the process, and you told yourself, someone higher up is gonna notice. But eventually, you learned the truth, that no one was coming. So what did you do? You adapted. You stopped asking, stopped explaining, and you stopped extending trust past the walls that you could control. You tightened your circle, you hardened your posture, and you told yourself, this wasn't resentment, this is discipline. And maybe it was, but see, discipline came with the cost. Because once you stop believing help exists, everything becomes a threat. Every outsider becomes a liability. Every unknown becomes hostile by default. And you don't notice when protection turns into isolation. You don't feel the shift when loyalty hardens into suspicion. It happens quietly. You call it being realistic. You call it learning from experience. You call it survival. But see, I call it math. And it all adds up. Because see, the same walls that keeps danger out are also keeping growth from getting in. And the longer you live behind them, the harder it becomes to tell whether you're protecting yourself or you're just slowly turning the world into something that you can no longer re-enter. See, the Voodoo Boys didn't wake up wanting to cut themselves off from the city. They arrived there one rational decision at a time. And so did you. And the uncomfortable question isn't whether the walls are justified. It's whether you still recognize the person you became once they were finished.